Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to go over the controls for the heat and how I am heating the wood floor. So started off, this humidity controller is no longer in use. It's just still here. This is the hot water going to and from the outdoor wood boiler, which is set at 180. So you can see in is to the house, so I'm getting about 182 temperature in on that primary loop I talked about, and back out through to the boiler is 177. So obviously nothing is calling for heat, but this also lets me see what temperature the outdoor wood boiler is by not going outside, so I don't have to go out to tell that the fire's out. This is the oil thermometer, which is still in use. It's a backup for in case everything else fails. As long as I have electricity, the oil will kick on. Now I have this set just below 15 Celsius, which is 59 degrees Fahrenheit. So this is going to kick on if the house gets down to 59. That way I don't have frozen pipes, and it gives me some time to get everything fixed. This one is the wood stove side of the forced hot air. This one's all the way off. I don't use this one unless I put a fire in the wood stove down there, which I would do once a year right before winter. I'll test it, I'll clean it out, I'll go through it, I'll make sure it runs. If we're down around -20, I will prep to start a wood fire down there just as extra backup. Now this is not the wood stove that's in the corner. This is part of the forced hot air furnace. The wood stove in the corner was put down there because when I did the outdoor wood boiler forced hot air, there was no more heat in the basement, so the basement would get absolutely freezing, and I didn't want any pipes to burst. So on the cold days, like the -20s, I would start a fire in the wood stove down cellar to keep down there at least at 50, 60, so I have some warm water. Now this is still in play. This is that hot water to forced hot air heat exchangers that we have. And as you can see, I have this at 61, 62. So this will come on feeding off of the outdoor wood burner before the oil comes on. And then we have this one, which is powering the radiant hot floor. It's reading that it's 72 in the house right now. It's extremely warm. I don't know why. It's set at 68. So the house must just be that much warmer right now. I do not have the sunroom heating just yet, so I don't know why it's at 72. It's just a warm day. It's like 50 degrees out. Everything's starting to melt. You can see the snowbank still out there, sort of. But that's the controls for my heating system and how they all sort of work together. They're all in the same area. Now I know that this one reads a little bit lower, so if it's at 72, this one will be reading at 68. And this one is reading again at 68. So this one might just be reading high right now due to the location of the house. So we're also back down in the controls. This is by the primary section here. And what we have here, you saw in the last one, this I-Link controller is getting its controls and information, one from here. So this is the temperature going out to the floor. That's actually not the right temperature because this pump is off. That typically reads the 135 to 140-ish temperature. And then, so that one's right here. Now the in one is the return line, which you can see down there on the very bottom. It's insulated. I still have to insulate the last of these pipes. So that gets its information from there and tells 2 to run based off of the temperature on the controller that we saw set up there. That temperature controller up there tells number 2 to run. This is just for me so that I know what temperature everything's set at. Because on the heat exchanger, as you can see, this is just random analog, and I've added these temperature gauges while I was warming up the system. So when I had it here, I had about 70-degree water going out through. When it was here, it started at 105. I think that was a surge. It was 85-degree water going out through. This temperature gave me 90-degree water, 100-degree water, 120, and right now we're set at about 135. I just haven't written that in. So this is about 135-degree water. I don't know what this original setting is. I bought this tank used, and it's worked so far. So this anode is what calls for pump number 2 to come on if this tank needs to run, or if this tank needs hot water. So those are the control setups for this system. And of course, the inverter is on grid power right now, powering everything. If that gets interrupted, it will immediately jump to the batteries, which this one needs to get replaced ASAP because it's all crowded up and corroded. So these are on charge. I'm gonna charge the next 2, get the hookups prepped and ready, and then replace all of these 3. See if any of these 3 are still good. If they are, I will move them out to my shop, which has a very similar setup, except that it's not powered by outdoor wood burner stove. It's a propane hot water heat tank, and that powers that. So I'll do a video on that later. But those are the controls for the radiant floor hot water heating system.